Hey guys, Tyler here, and this is the Garage Warrior podcast and videocast, and I'm super excited today to have on the call with me, not one, but two, the Tapp brothers. How you guys doing today?
Doing great, man.
Doing awesome,
Appreciate
man.
you having us on.
Yeah, man, I'm really excited to have you guys on. We've never had anybody who specialized in parkour and parkour progressions before, and we're going to talk a lot about movement and all the fun stuff going on in the land of parkour today. But before we do, can you guys each take a little moment to introduce yourselves and kind of maybe share with us what your 50,000 mile view is and what you're hoping to teach people today?
Okay. Yeah, I'm Thomas Tapp.
And I'm Jonathan Tapp.
Yeah, and our goal is pretty much to have people experience what we experienced through our training in parkour. We started off with no gymnastics experience, no martial arts or anything like that, and we saw these videos of these guys jumping across buildings doing these amazing feats, and we're like, we gotta learn how to do this. And through that, we were able to teach ourselves how to do the movements and stuff, and really reach a level of, I guess you'd say, physical freedom, where you can pretty much whatever goals you want to accomplish with your body, you're able to reach those goals. And we're able to break that down and figure out a way to actually do that with parkour. And the feeling, the physical confidence that you get, because back then we weren't as confident with physically.
Yeah.
So being able to break through that point and being able to learn something like parkour, where you think it's impossible, but once you break through that barrier, it opens up a whole new world of what you're able to do physically, but then also mentally as well. So that's what we really want to share, is just spreading that throughout the world as we progress.
Yeah, because I feel like, especially today, a lot of people are kind of closed off and they're stuck in this, I guess, this wheel of they're going to school, they're studying, they're being taught all these things, they're not really being creative. And parkour really opens up your mind in a way where you can be creative with not only your workouts, but also leads into being more creative with the route you want to go in your life. And that's what happened with us. I mean, we were going to college and doing these things and realized it just wasn't the route for us. And parkour really opened us up to, if you love something, you can just go after it and follow your own path and make it work. And that's what parkour has really enabled us to do. And so we want everyone else to kind of experience that and have that epiphany, that mind-opening experience that they can do whatever they want as long as it's something they love and they put a lot of work into it.
Yeah, absolutely. I like something that you said there, Thomas, and that was that you used to think these things were impossible, and now you can do them. And that's such a powerful thing, because everybody listening to this right now has something they probably consider impossible. Even you guys probably think of yourself like, there's something that I consider impossible.
Yeah.
And one person might think that is, a somersault, just rolling over on the ground safely. And another person might think that's a somersault after jumping off a 3-story building and landing safely, right? And both of them are something that those people consider impossible. So I'd love it if we could really break down those barriers and take people from, maybe just learning how to roll to learning how to jump off the building and roll today, at least in their minds. I think that's such a powerful lesson that you guys just shared right there. And, it's so funny. This is such a popular topic nowadays, because I created a YouTube video that was just how to roll, like a stupid little how to do a somersault thing. And it was one of my most popular YouTube videos. People loved that YouTube video. I was like, hey, that's how you roll, because it's really not that challenging. So for people who don't know who parkour is, can you explain a little bit what is parkour and what is the best way for someone to get started?
Okay, that's a great question. Parkour is, the definition that's usually given is it's to go from one place to another, point A to point B, in the quickest, most efficient way possible through the use of your body. So that's vaulting over rails, jumping.
Yeah, you think of it pretty much like as if you were being chased by someone, and what's the route and where the movements you would do to get away from someone in an environment with a bunch of different obstacles with the use of your own body. And say if you want to be more creative, this kind of blends into free running, but people use the terms interchangeably. But if you want to be more creative, maybe add flips, or it's not about being efficient, going from one place to another, that's something you can do as well.
Yeah. And for getting started, that's one of the most popular questions that we get asked. And this is a really big thing, because if you get started in parkour, and especially when you're watching all these videos of guys doing these crazy jumps, it's pretty overwhelming. And if you try to do that stuff, you're more than likely going to get hurt. And what most people don't see is behind the scenes, these guys, it takes years to really get to that level. And what you have to do is start very small. We like to use baby steps or gradual progression steps. So most of our training at the beginning when you're starting off is going to be low to ground in a very safe environment.
Yeah, and one of the big things that we focus on is developing functional fitness. So a lot of people, when they're first starting a workout routine, they think they need to go hit up the weights and work on these just single action movements. But with parkour, it's about developing multiple joints moving together in unison. It's about building coordination. And so one of the things that we harp on is that you need to start developing a fitness routine that's all about building coordination and functional fitness, because that's what's going to help you excel rapidly.
That's basically the building block for parkour, and that's to start off. That's the most crucial thing, is building that base level of fitness that will allow you to do these movements very easily. And a lot of people miss out on that, and it takes them a long time to learn the moves. But if they just focus on the fitness, which we did at first, after just doing reckless stuff and almost killing ourselves for a little bit, we took it back and started building up that base. And then we were able to learn the moves very quickly after that.
Yeah, because once you have the base fundamental coordination, the moves come a lot easier. It becomes a lot smoother. And then it's just, you start small. It's all about gradual progression, like Thomas was saying. So you start with, so you're not going to just do a jump across a building. You're going to start on a ground level. You're going to start with like jumping from one line to another line. So that way you're able to see how far you can go physically in a safe environment. And then you just gradually increase from there. And then, what's comfortable, at the beginning, it just, as you improve, your comfortability level, just increases so much to where jumping across a building becomes as easy as just jumping from one line to another on the ground. So It's all about just gradual progression.
I was on a call earlier this week with Steve Atlas, and he was talking a lot about the amount of time it takes to get from like one step to another. Like he's working on a one-arm elbow lever on his fingertips. And he said, I want to get to 5 seconds. And he's been working on it for like 6 months already. And he thinks it's going to take several more months to get to that last second, right? And it's so interesting that, like on YouTube, you made me think about this. Nobody's posting videos of them beginning parkour.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Like, nobody's posting videos of them just jumping across like a sidewalk or something like that. Because it would be ridiculous. But everybody's watching these videos of people doing these crazy things all over the place, not realizing that the foundation is starting with jumping across the sidewalk, starting with learning how to roll, starting with learning how to run better with how to jump over objects with technique and so on and so forth. So that's such an interesting topic. So do you guys break down parkour into different elements, or do you guys break down your practice into different elements? Like I can imagine if I was going to teach parkour, I would think about running, I would think about how to approach certain objects, how to roll, so on and so forth. What elements do you guys break down your practice into?
Basically, a big part is just the conditioning. So a lot of it is just basically functional fitness, where the big moves that we focus on are one, quadrupedal movement. So this is where you're on all fours, basically in a crawling like motion. And what's amazing about this is that people that we've trained this or given this to who weren't very coordinated, what this does is it builds a really strong foundation of coordination in a short amount of time, because it's almost like when you crawl as a kid, except it's in a more advanced form of this. And then so we do moves like that, and we do moves like carry-throughs, where you start in a push-up position and you walk your legs all the way through to your hips are pointing in the opposite way, and you walk back, and things like this for fitness.
We break down a lot of mobility, flexibility, and strength at first. So we're doing pull-ups, like you mentioned, carry-throughs that build up the flexibility with the abs, because a lot of vaults, a lot of flexibility is needed here with the hips and the abs. And so carry-throughs, pull-ups, base running sprints are great for building up. Also, some people think it's a lot of endurance, but a lot of parkour is actually quick movements, explosive power. So when you're doing a jump, it's a lot of explosive power, so we'll focus on that. So that's kind of like the base level of fitness. Then we'll go into
landings,
the technical part. So pretty much we've broken it down to we call it the training triangle. You develop the physical, which is where you get your base level of fitness, and you develop the technical, and that's where you learn the specific techniques of each movement. So the parkour roll, the vaults, everything like that, so you know exactly what you're doing. And then the mental side. So this is where we break down the gradual progression steps, the mindset you need to have, because a lot of parkour training is mental, getting over those fears and breaking that down as well. So that's basically the breakdown of that, is you work physical, technical, mental.
If you combine all three of those in your training, then you're going to get pretty far in parkour.
Yeah. That's fantastic. I love how you guys have so much of a mental component to this because, I think if people watch a YouTube video of parkour, probably the first thing they're thinking to themselves is like, I could never do that. And that stems from fear, right? It's the same way, like, I look at a big wave surfer and I'm like, I will never surf that big wave. Because I'm not going to get crunched in and eaten by great white sharks, right? But those people, they have the balls it takes to do that sort of thing, and it takes a certain type of grit to be able to do what you guys are talking about. But starting at the basics is really the key, it sounds like. So what if somebody were to come off the streets, coming from a conventional gym workout, like you said, doing the one-arm isolation curls and stuff, and they're like, hey, I'm sick of this crap. I want to learn how to move. I want to learn how to move my body better. Where do you start them at? Like, what is the first exercise or the first workout routine you put them through?